Hey everybody, it's Dawn and welcome back to another episode of Big City Knitting. Okay, hello, how are you? It's been a while again. I know I say that at the beginning of every single one of my videos because after every single video, it's been a while. I just wanted to sit and chat with you guys today about my latest project. I believe last time I updated you guys, I was in the process of making a cloud sweater by Petite Knit, and I had some interesting things to modify to the pattern. So I had finally had some time today to sit down and talk with you guys about it. So let's just get started. If I remember correctly, the last time I updated you guys about it, I was almost done with the body. I still had the sleeves to do, and I was going to start a colorwork chart for the front. And since then, it's been a long time. I was going on vacation. And I was trying to reach a certain point in the sweater in time for that, and I wanted to get a certain amount done on my vacation, and I definitely did do that. But since coming back, since I released my last video, I've been incredibly busy with coming back from vacation, coming back to work, trying to get everything settled and organized, and then I was sick for a while, and then after I felt better, my voice is still not great, so I'm finally healthy again, and I had the time on my hands today to sit down and give a lengthy video today for you guys. So yeah, I just got back from work, and it is a beautiful 70 degrees outside, and I'm very excited, and it's been a great day. Okay. All right, bud. Say I missed you guys. I wanted to say hi, but we're just on my bed right now, so it's a little unstable. But anyway, so my cloud sweater by Petite Knit. If you remember, I was making it in the Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino in the color Pea Shoots. I had some of the mohair left over from my wave sweater for my boyfriend. And so I made the base in this lovely green color. As you can see, I mean, she's finished, she's done, she's beautiful, she's blocked, and it's lovely. So, I finished the body pretty shortly after filming my last video, and so I was able to start on the color work the day that I left for vacation, which was perfect. That's what I wanted. And it worked out really well. And I know you're probably curious on my like progress, like how did I make the color work pattern? How did I do this? How did I do that? And I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna tell you. So without further ado, here she is in all of her glory. Wow. Isn't she just gorgeous? I mean, I think it's beautiful. I mean, look at the close-up details. Isn't she amazing? I mean, just look at her. I love it. I love it so much. So what I did, I had a little bit of like trial and error and some different ideas, like playing around with it. Eventually what I decided to do, because originally I was thinking, oh, I could try intarsia knitting and only knit like the color work for front panel, or I was just playing around with a lot of different ideas. What I eventually ended up doing, I know I mentioned in my last video that I had a color work or like a color chart on Pinterest that I really loved and fell in love with. However, the grid size was way too big for my little sweater. So what I ended up doing was I created my own chart. And I tried using a lot of apps, like the grid makers, and I was just gonna like fill in the squares with the colors. But all of the apps that I could find had like a limit to like how many, like how big of a grid I could make, and all of them were too small. So what I ended up doing actually was I taped together a bunch of grid paper from like a notebook. I taped a bunch together, and then I just colored in all of the squares. Originally, my first step was to measure out the like the grid. So what I did was each square was 1 stitch. According to the pattern, I just did, girl, sorry. According to the pattern, I just did like how many stitches were separated for the front panel, how many are in the back panel. I think I had some extra stitches on either side of the sides of the panel, the front panel, just to give it a little bit of like symmetry, or I don't know, just something so where it like wouldn't be like the pattern wouldn't be like all the way back here for the front panel. I don't know how else better to explain that, but so I did that, and then I did the same for my vertical rows. And so I taped together papers to like give me like that amount of squares with my grid paper. And then after that, I like kind of sketched how I wanted the pattern to go on my sweater just with a pencil. And then I just kind of traced like the square, like I colored in the squares that would like trace the pattern. I don't know, I'm gonna place a picture here of like the full finished like piece of my color work chart, and hopefully that will like kind of better explain for like a visual, because I feel like maybe I'm not doing the greatest job explaining how I did that, but I'll just show you how I did it right there. But yeah, so basically I just I didn't like carry this with me because like the actual like full size in real life was huge. It took up like my whole coffee table, and obviously I couldn't just like bring that around with me. So I just took a quick picture of that, and I was able to like zoom in on like certain like sections and do like a little bit at a time, or like certain colors at a time, and that's what I did. So after I had my color work chart done, I thought it would be super simple of me to kind of section them a little bit, just to make it a little bit more manageable and not so overwhelming. And that really worked for me. What I ended up doing on the color chart, I just made like more like bold lines in the chart, and I did 10 by 10 squares. I think I ended up like one column was like 8 boxes in a section, which, you know, is fine. And then what I did for my sweater, I actually was threading a contrasting color of yarn through the front of my sweater. So here, as you can clearly see, this is me when I was making like the lines to separate out the little sections. I recommend, if you do this method like how I'm doing here, I recommend doing the horizontal lines first, and you can like kind of like weave them through the stitches. The horizontal or the vertical lines that I'm doing, I'm actually weaving those through the horizontal lines that I did, so that way it kind of lays on top of the stitches. Because when I was trying to weave them through the stitches, it was just kind of buried and you couldn't really tell that they were there at all. But yeah, so I have a darning needle right there and I'm just weaving it in, counting the stitches, making the lines. Pretty self-explanatory, really. It's not that hard. You've got a lot of loose ends, but you're gonna pull out those lines anyway later, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, there you go. But yeah, so that's how I did that. Which again, like I said, made it so much more easier for me to really kind of like hone in on like one specific spot and not get overwhelmed by like quite how big it was gonna be in retrospect to like, I don't know, because like whenever you look at the picture, you're like, oh wow, like that's so pretty. It's like a small little picture, but like if you're looking like stitch by stitch, like that's overwhelming. Like that's a lot. But yeah, so the little sections really helped me. Me personally, I recommend if you do that. I thought it was really easy, but if that's not your style, if that's not what you like to do, you know, it's your project. You do whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, you know. And then after I got all of the sections lined out, and I just got started. I used a technique called the duplicate stitch, and I know a lot of the time, a lot of knitters use the duplicate stitch for like fixing mistakes on color work, or doing like cutesy little like designs, and you don't, you know, necessarily want to do the intarsia knitting or just something like that. I think it's super simple. I mean, obviously I did like a million duplicate stitches, so of course I'm gonna think it's simple now, but even like learning how to do it was super easy. So I enjoyed it. Maybe you prefer like other methods, and that's fine, you know. I thought it was great. It was super easy to do like in the car because we drove, and it was a very long drive, so I had plenty of time on my hands. But yeah, I thought it was super easy to just do the duplicate stitch, you know, little by little, section by section. I think what I did is I started here and I just kind of did like the little stems, and then I did the big leaves over here. I did the outlines first and then filled them in, just because I thought that might be a little bit more manageable if I did like the outlines and then focused on the bigger picture. For the flowers, I did the outline for the full flower itself. And then I did like the bigger details, like this lighter blue, like middle petal part. And then I did the detailing, like that dark, like the purples and pinks and stuff. I did that, and then I filled in the big blue color. Just because I thought getting the little stuff out of the way would be simpler. And it was, for me at least. But yeah. I really liked it. What I did was, so I know I said the green was the heavy merino, and I believe that is a DK or worsted weight yarn. I think I held it with a 4.5 millimeter needle. That sounds right. I think it was a 4.5 millimeter. And then for the color work, I had a ton of scrap yarn in my stash. However, all of my scrap yarn was like fingering weight. So what I did was I just, I took a darning needle and like I thread the needle with the fingering weight, and then I like folded it in half. So like each stitch is like the fingering weight technically held double, if that makes sense. And it works out. I mean, the gauge was pretty similar, and I mean, it's flat, you know, it's not like real bulky, or like it doesn't have any weird bulges anywhere. But yeah, I mean, it worked out pretty well. Also, look at that drape. Look at like the movement. I'm sorry. I don't know. Sorry. I'm just enjoying my project. But yeah, it was pretty simple. I mean, I think the trickiest part of it was, like switching out the colors or like adding more yarn to it, because I'll show you the inside. It's not pretty. I know a lot of times people want to see like the inside of like color work, and it's like the nice, neat, like you catch your floats, you weave in all your ends, like you do this and that, looks so cool, so funky. And normally with like my other color work projects, it is, you know, it's nice and neat and pretty and like satisfying to look at. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, so obviously I had to add yarn. Like I couldn't just do one long piece for the entirety of like filling in the colors and all that. Like I had to add a bunch of yarn, and I mean, I just tied off the ends and just added, and like I did not want to weave in all of these ends. So I did what any good creator does and hide it. Because what people don't know won't kill them, you know, won't hurt. Because whenever you look at this, it's so nice and pretty, and who cares what the inside looks like? I think it's fine. So, I don't know, sue me. I just, you know. But yeah, I thought it was fantastic. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the color work. I mean, I thought it was gonna be this like big complicated thing, and it really wasn't. I think the most complicated piece about the entire project was making the color chart to begin with. I mean, because once you have the chart, I feel like for me personally, it's really easy to follow. So I don't know, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's just a little bit simple for me. I really enjoy doing color work. I've done like a few different color work projects this year so far. I think including this one, it's been 3. I don't know if I would consider this color work because it's not like stranded color work, it's duplicate stitch. I think it is still color work, it's just a different method or a different style. So yeah, I would include this in my color work projects. I just think it's nice. The drape is really nice. It's not like too heavy. It's obviously it's merino wool, so it's pretty warm. I haven't had a lot of chances to wear it this year, but with the weather cooling down this week, I think I might have a couple chances to wear it here soon. But yeah, the project or the pattern itself for the sweater, I really enjoyed that as well. Kind of like close to the end of the body while I was making it. I know I had said that I was almost done with it in my last video. I started to actually get some knitting fatigue close to the end of it, because if you remember back earlier this year, I had started to make the Oslo sweater by Petite Knit, and I got knitting fatigue like halfway down the body, and I put it down, set it aside, and I have not picked it up since. I was starting to feel it a little bit for the body here, but I think the colorwork saved the project because it made me excited to finish the body, to do the colorwork and finish it. The sleeves, however, I was stuck on Sleeve Island for a while, which is part of the reason. What, Lola? What, hon? Where is it? You have to bring it to me. She likes to play fetch. I don't know if your cats do that, or I don't know, but she's silly. But yeah, so the sleeves also kind of wore me out a little bit, just because I think the main issue was like the major part of the sweater was done, the color work. And in my mind I was like, ah, yes, I finished it, it's done, I'm done. But I still had to do the sleeves and the collar, and you know, it just wore me out, I think. So yeah. But I muscled through and I finished the sleeves, and they're actually fantastic. I was really nervous about them being too short. Because like when you look at this, like this is a short sleeve. I don't know. But it's like a drop shoulder, so it adds a little bit of length. Plus blocking it added a little bit of length as well. So it ended up being like the perfect length for me, honestly. It was just, you know, stockinette over and over and over and over. So that was definitely a challenge. Not really a challenge. It was just, I wanted to move on to the next thing. So, you know. And then for the collar, actually gave me a lot of issues. Not a lot of issues, but just more than I would have liked. I'll show you a close-up. This is my cast on edge, and I'm sorry, but can we take a moment and appreciate this, please? I think this is probably the cleanest cast on edge I've ever done in a sweater before. Cause like, I don't know, look at that. I mean, you can barely tell. Like, I'm just proud of it. I don't know, it's kind of a nice collar. I don't know. But yeah, I'm a little proud of myself for that moment. The opening was giving me a hard time because like the cast on was perfect, right? I didn't have like it wasn't gonna be a big thick collar. I didn't have to fold it over or anything. It was like 5 or 6 rows of stockinette and bind it off and you're done. The bind off I used, I don't know if it was just too tight or if it was just the style that I used, because I just did like a knit bind off. But I couldn't fit it over my head. So I had to put it back on my needles, and I had to like unsecure the cast off and get the yarn back. It was a nightmare and it was really frustrating, and it took me a few hours to do just like a few rows of stockinette. And then I was Googling or searching for like stretchy bind off things on like TikTok and YouTube, and I ended up finding a good one, obviously, because I fixed the collar and it fits me perfect. And it's not too tight, it doesn't like sit weird. But yeah, it's great. So yeah. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so this is my cloud sweater by Petite Knit. I think I'm gonna call it my Morning Glory sweater. Because obviously it's the main focus of this sweater is the Morning Glory color work. I just think it's really precious, and I highly recommend if you are getting into color work or if you want to try something new with your sweaters. Maybe if you're mainly a stockinette knitter, and you want to like spice up your projects a little bit, that's not just like stripes or like something like that, which are cute. Stripes are cute, but if you want to add like a little bit of like something special to your projects, I highly recommend doing this. The duplicate stitch is incredibly simple, and I mean, if you go on Pinterest or I mean anywhere, you can find hundreds of like cross stitch patterns, or like, I mean, really any grid pattern, even like pixel art, you could probably convert into a grid and apply that to your stockinette patterns. So yeah, I highly recommend it. It was super fun. It was nice because like I really like made it my own. And I mean, all of my patterns, everything that I've made so far, it was just, you know, copy and paste from the pattern, you know, step by step, follow every instruction, and I make a project that hundreds of other creators make, and this is very unique to me. And I don't know, I just really enjoy having a piece that I can say that like I made it and nobody else has it. I just really enjoy having that. But yeah, I really enjoyed the project a lot. Even though the stockinette gave me a hard time towards the end, I really enjoy this pattern, and I highly recommend you guys doing the same. If that is what you want to do. If you're on the fence about doing it, or if you've considered doing it, I think you should. But yeah, so that's my cloud sweater. It took me, I think in total, it took me about a month to make, from cast on to cast off, including all of the color work and all of that, and the time it took me to like finish the sleeves and the body and all of that, probably about a month, I think. So all things considering, I mean, I think it was a pretty relatively quick knit for, I mean, how involved it was. I was gonna say complicated, but it's really not that complicated. It's just there's a lot to it. But yeah, I think it was good. So yeah, moving on to my next plans. I know this took a while, but I actually already have casted on my next work in progress. And I know in my last video I was talking about making a cardigan, specifically I believe it was the Montrose cardigan. And surprise, surprise, I am not making the Montrose cardigan. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you there. I don't think it should come as any surprise that I did not choose that cardigan. It is what it is. But I did end up choosing the Amandia cardigan by WOWOW Knits. They are, I believe a Korean designer, primarily on, I think, Instagram. They have a few YouTube videos out. I know, I haven't watched all of them, so I think it's just maybe YouTube instructions for their patterns. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't watched all of them, so I can't be certain. But yeah, it's the Amandia cardigan by WOWOW Knit. And as I was about to get yarn for the Montrose cardigan, I got on Instagram one day and I saw that she had released a pattern for it that I have been waiting for months. It was like months, literally. I had seen a sample of the cardigan that she made months ago, and I was searching and searching and searching and searching for it everywhere, and I couldn't find it, and I was so sad. And I was trying to see if if there were even any testers for like a project that would maybe be released, and I couldn't find any. But yeah, I just happened to go on Instagram one day, and there it was, the first post I saw, that the pattern was released, and I snatched it up so quick, and I ordered the yarn the same day. So yeah, I already have it casted on. I actually have it here. I've been working on it for a while because, like I said, I finished my, Morning Glory sweater a few weeks ago, and I've been sick and I've been busy, so I've been working on it for a little while now, like 3-ish weeks, and I'm just gonna show you. I'm not gonna go into too much detail because I plan on making a whole separate video just for this cardigan, but I wanted to show you like what I have so far for you now. This is the sleeve, and I just wanted to show you the color work, mainly just that. So yeah, here she is. So this is gonna be the sleeve, both of the sleeves actually. So it's knitted, the pattern is knit from the bottom up, and you steek it, which is very intimidating to me. But like I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail with that because I plan on doing a whole great big video on that specifically. I'm just very excited for this cardigan, and I wanted to show you the colors, like the color work chart. I just think it's beautiful, and I think you should make it. I don't know. It's so cute. I'm actually almost done with the sleeves. And I'm actually done with the body as well. It's in the other room. But again, more on that in the next video. So I'll just leave it at that. Another next step for me, next project, is going to be the Ilara cardigan by Knits, and I'm so excited for that one as well. So I'm sure a lot of you have been seeing it on your Instagram feeds. I'm seeing it everywhere, and I'm also seeing a couple other YouTubers that I watch have also been talking about the Ilara cardigan. I just think it's precious. Again, I saw it on Instagram one day, like announcing that the pattern was set to be released. I had seen it I think a week before it was set to release, and I'm like, oh my god, I think it's perfect. I really like how it's simple, yet it's got a little bit of intricacy with the soft cables. I really like how she used a fluffy yarn, so that way the cables weren't as defined, but you could still tell that they were there. And I just think it's so precious. I don't know what it is, but it's, to me, it's just the perfect cardigan I've ever seen. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. I was looking at a lot of the like testers and like what colors they used, what yarn they used, and eventually I landed on doing the drops brushed alpaca, which is actually what Emily used in one of her samples. I think it's the green sample that she made was drops alpaca held double. So yeah, I also chose that. I think I'm knitting the size, well, I'm going to knit the size 3, I think. I'm either knitting 3 or 4, but it's got quite a bit of positive ease. So I think I'm doing the size 3 is, you know, what the yarn I got for is, which is a funny story. So I had ordered the yarn. I've got it ordered already. The first time I ordered it, I ordered it with Linda Hobby, which is one of the warehouses that Drops uses, that and Wool Warehouse. But I ordered the yarn, and I could have sworn I ordered it in the Rainforest Dew, which is again what Emily used for her sample in the Drops brushed alpaca. And I mean, I remember because I was so excited for this color, and it was the dreamiest color, the dreamiest pattern, and it was gonna be perfect, and I wanted that color. And I ordered it. I had to order 18 balls of yarn because it's held double. So divide that in half, that's 9 balls, not that bad. And like with the measurements, yardage that I needed, it measured out to that. I think it was like 13 yards of, she used 13 yards of the Drops Melody for like the gray sample. So I was like, okay, I'll need 13 yards of the brushed alpaca, but she holds it double, so I'll need 2,600 yard or meters of the brushed alpaca. So 18 balls of yarn later, I get it in the mail yesterday, actually, and I'm so excited. I'm like, oh my god, I had a bad day at work, and I knew my package was delivered, and I was so excited, and I open it up, and they sent me the wrong color. They sent me the Sweet Apricot, which is like a orangey pinkish color. And that's fine. It's a cute color. I mean, it's fine, but it's definitely not what I wanted. And I'm looking through like my invoices and like my email history with like the order, and all of them say it was a Sweet Apricot, but like whenever you're ordering it, like the Rainforest Dew is way down here and the Sweet Apricot is way up here. And I don't really know how that happened, but somehow I accidentally ordered the wrong color. So all day yesterday and today I've been trying to like find where to find like the return label so I can return it and get my money back. And I ended up having to email like the customer service, and unfortunately they do not create shipping labels for US customers. So I just have to take it to the post office tomorrow and have them create a label for me. But I don't know how much that's gonna be, but I got all of that yarn for only like $55 with shipping, because they were having a sale, and then the warehouse was having a sale, and it was great. It was fine. So yeah, it's just a little bit frustrating. I reordered, I placed another order for the same, like the Rainforest Dew. So that should be here Monday. it's just a little like, so, but yeah. My plan is to finish my Amandia cardigan. I'll probably finish that in another week or so, because I'm almost done with the sleeves, and then I just have to do like the button band for the body, and then I just have to connect the sleeves and I'm done. But yeah, so I'm almost done with that, and then my goal is to have the Alara cardigan done within the next 5 weeks, because that is when we leave for our fall vacation to Germany. So I'm super excited about that, and I'm cutting it really close. So cross your fingers for me and wish me luck that my order comes on time and I finish the project very quickly. So, but yeah, I think that's everything. I haven't been doing much else besides that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you're all caught up. Thank you guys so much for taking this short time and sitting with me and letting me talk your ears off about my current projects. It's been fun. I'm glad I finally had the time to sit down and talk to you, and I'm glad that I finally just got it off my chest and got it out of the way. But yeah, thanks guys. So yeah, hopefully shortly I will have another video up talking about my progress in making the Amandia cardigan. I'm shooting for the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'll have another video up talking about it. So until then, be safe, be happy, and be healthy, and happy knitting. Bye guys.